Hey guys and gals, it's me Will. Welcome back to another episode of Econ Academy. Today, in this episode, I'm going to be teaching you about market equilibrium. So in order to understand equilibrium, we need to examine supply and demand on a price versus quantity graph. So in our milk market, we're going to look at price, quantity. We're going to be looking at the price per gallon. Let's say it's going to be $2 per gallon, 4, then 6, then 8, then 10. All right, now for our quantity, let's go with 100 million, then 200, 300, 400, and 500 million gallons. Okay, so now we can take a look at our supply and demand curves. All right, I don't know about you guys, but I would pay $500 per gallon for milk. I would pay with my left foot for milk. Nobody stands between me and milk. But I can't say the same for the average consumer. So, I think it's safe to assume that the quantity demanded is going to be quite low. So let's plot down our first point for our demand curve right there. Now, obviously, if milk was $2 per gallon, that's quite cheap. Many more people are going to be wanting milk. So now we can plot down our second course, or our second point rather. Here we go. That's our demand curve. Okay, let's move on to supply now. We're going to start at our lowest point, $1, which will say, let's make that the lowest point where manufacturers will be willing to produce their product, in this case milk. Now, obviously, that willingness will continue as the supply curve grows. So let's draw it all the way up. And there we go. There's a complete supply curve. All that's left is the equilibrium. Right along here. At this point where supply and demand converge. Equilibrium. Just to reinforce the main point here about equilibrium, we can also look at surplus and shortage. Now, given all three factors in a supply versus demand curve, we can see the obvious trend of as demand and supply go up, it's going to go all the way up into a surplus. By which time, in order to go back down into equilibrium, the opposite is going to occur, with supply decreasing and demand increasing right until shortage occurs, and it's going to keep doing that over and over. Alright, that's it for equilibrium. My name's Will, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of Econ Academy.